How's it going, everybody? My name is Matt, and today I am bringing you the best $500 gaming PC on YouTube, period, as of October 2013. As always with this series, I did my research and looked up other builds on YouTube of $500 gaming PCs and made sure that the one I am bringing you is the best of all of them. Keep in mind that this is made for the $500 budget, meaning it actually costs $550, but if you have a $500 budget, I strongly recommend saving the extra money, waiting the few extra weeks to get the $550 build that I'm showing you, because you will definitely enjoy the increased performance. Now, let's not waste any time and get into the build. So to start off with the CPU, I went the Intel Core i3-4130. Now this is a really good little processor for the price. What you're looking at here is a dual-core processor, but due to Intel's hyper-threading technology, it's actually 4 threads, which is almost equivalent to 4 cores, a 3.4 GHz base clock, and because of Intel's Haswell lineup, it has an insane single-core performance and low power states, so it's a really well-rounded CPU, coming in at $130. For the RAM, I went with 8 GB of Wintec Value RAM, and as the name indicates, it's very value conscientious. It comes in at 1333 MHz at clock speed, which is basically the baseline of what you want to get in a gaming PC. It's 8 GB, which is just enough for anything you want to do on a gaming PC, including gaming and video editing, and it comes in at $54, so it's definitely a great choice if you're trying to save some money on your RAM but still get good performance. For the hard drive, I went pretty simple here, the Western Digital Caviar Blue 500 GB drive. There's not much to say about it. It's got 500 GB and it's 7200 RPM, so it's got the storage and it's just fast enough for what you want to do. It comes in at $60, so it's a great way to save money if you're looking to spend more money on other parts of your build. So let's move on to the GPU, the heart of any good gaming build. I went with the HIS Radeon HD 7870. Now this is an awesome card for this budget. It's extremely fast, maxing out almost all current games, and any game that doesn't max out, you'll definitely be playing on high or even very high settings. It's also very overclockable. HIS included their custom design for the cooler, so you can definitely overclock it past the 1 GHz clock it comes with to increase your speed and performance in games. And lastly, speaking of games, you get 2 free games from their list of selections from AMD's Never Settle bundle. This card comes in at $173 and is a really good performer for the price. If you're looking at the NVIDIA side of things, consider the EVGA 660 coming in at about $180. It performs a little worse than the 7870, but it has all the pros or cons that NVIDIA has compared to AMD. So let's move on to the case. I went with the NZXT Gamma. This is a pretty simple choice. I like this thing because it's got good airflow with a mesh front and one 120mm fan in the back and 6 total fan mounts, so you can buy a few cheap ones and put them in your system for improved airflow. Second of all, it's got cable management, it's got the room, and it's got the holes, nothing too fancy, but it's definitely there. And lastly, it comes in at $30, which is really cheap for a case. It probably costs more to ship it than to buy it. So let's move on to the power supply, the last part of this build. I went with the Corsair CX 430 watt power supply. I like this power supply because it's 430 watts, which is enough for this build and overclocking, and it's 80 plus bronze, which means it delivers clean power to your components. It's also semi-modular, which means not all the cables attached to the power supply, really helping reduce cable clutter. For the motherboard, I chose the MSI B85M-P33 Micro ATX motherboard. Now this motherboard is really simple and really cheap, but it gets the job done. First of all, it supports Haswell, which is necessary because I chose the i3 as our processor. Second off, it uses military-grade components, so it is really built well and will last a while, and you don't have to worry about that. And lastly, it has the x16 PCIe slot that we need for a high-end graphics card. It comes in at $60, so it's definitely a good choice to save some money. So this build in total comes in at $550, which is above the $500 price point, but around the $500 budget. I don't know if that makes sense, but it does to me. Thank you guys so much for watching and checking out this $500 gaming PC build. If you guys enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe or comment if you have any questions, all that kind of good stuff. As always, I'm Matt, and thanks for stopping by.